How's it going, guys? Cameron here with Canadian Gamer coming at you with another review. I don't even know if I'd call this a review, maybe just more of a final thoughts. Talking about Halo Combat Evolved for the original Xbox. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about this. For number one, I'm obviously about 21 years behind everybody else, finally playing this game in 2022. And number two, the game's been talked about to death, so the last thing you want to see is Canadian Gamer talking about Halo Combat Evolved for the original Xbox for 20 minutes. Something you've probably heard about 100 times over. So I just want to give my quick final thoughts on this game. Funny enough, when I bought my Xbox One brand new at Future Shop, I guess it was Best Buy at the time, it was actually bundled with the Master Chief Collection, a digital download code. And at the time, I didn't think I'd ever be interested in playing Halo, so I sold the digital download. Fast forward a couple of years later, I bought a Xbox One S, and I think it was actually it was a console, the Deep Blue console that it was bundled Halo with 5, Halo Guardians, and it was the limited edition in the steel book, all the rest of it. And when I bought the console used on the classifieds, the guy gave me the Halo 5, came with it. So I played through Halo 5. That was the first Halo game I played. And I really did enjoy it. I know a lot of people didn't necessarily enjoy that Halo game, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I did see, obviously, there was a bit of a battle royale aspect to it. You could just sort of feel it in the gameplay. Running through the world, there would be weapon stations where you'd run up and get your weapons, and you could tell that game was it had a bit of a multiplayer focus to it, even in the single player campaign. But that's how a lot of the first person shooters are going these days. The newer Doom titles are like that as well. So yeah, I enjoyed Halo 5, and then I ended up picking up Halo 3. Played a chunk of that, never beat it, really enjoyed it. Picked up Halo 4. I played a chunk of that one as well, did not beat it. And Halo 2. I did get pretty far into that one, and I didn't beat it, walked away from it. So, fast forward to today. I sat down over the last several days and played Halo Combat Evolved. Now, I was playing this on original hardware, OG Xbox, using a 4:3 aspect ratio on a flat screen TV. And yeah, what else could be said about this game? Obviously, you've got the iconic stages. You've got Pillar of Autumn, Arriving on Halo, Truth and Reconciliation, The Silent Cartographer, Assaults on the Control Room, 343 Guilty Spark, The Library, Two Betrayals, Keys, and the Maw. So, yeah, lots to say here on this game. I've made some crib notes here, kind of give you my, my Game Pro review, if you will. And so likes, we'll start with likes. Graphics, 10 out of 10. Impressive showcase for what the original Xbox was capable of at the time. Me personally, I don't think the game looks too dated even by today's standards. I thought it still looked like a really good game. I know it got a remastered version, like we talked about earlier, but I think this looks just fine on the original Xbox. Would look even better running on a CRT. Eye candy cutscenes and great set pieces as well. Audio, 10 out of 10. Incredible score. You could really listen to this music in your car. Might get a speeding ticket. Music really sets the tone. The music picks up at key points throughout the game, especially towards the end when you're riding in the Warthog in a race to escape the planet. Great voice acting for the most part. Whoever voiced Master Chief did a great job. Cortana's voice was less than stellar in my opinion. Controls, I would give an 8 out of 10. Buttery smooth controls, easy button layout. However, the Warthog handles like trash, so for that reason, controls get an 8 out of 10. Gameplay, I put 8 out of 10 for that. Beautiful open world, repetitive enemies, mundane story. So it's a first-person shooter, obviously. As far as gameplay is concerned, it plays really well. It's not really. I guess it did reinvent the wheel as far as a first-person shooter is concerned. But as far as talking about gameplay standards from what we've played today and going back and playing this, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I'm not gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I probably would have given it a perfect 10 out of 10 back in 2001. So let's talk about the negatives. There's no double jump. Now, that's just me being picky. I don't necessarily think you need a double jump in Halo, the original Halo Combat Evolved. Obviously, in the later games, you did get a double jump, but it would have been nice to have. Your character doesn't sprint. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I do feel like the character doesn't walk fast enough, and I find your character stands too low to the ground. It almost feels like he's on his knees. There's no ability to save in real time. The last mission, as an example, at one point, whoever's played the game, you know what I'm talking about, where you have to blow up the vent. You have to blow up the vent, but there's 4, I don't know what they are, like kiosks that have to explode one by one. And I ran out of missiles, so I had to run back to another room and acquire more ammo. And then I came back to the area where you blow up the vent, and I died because the enemies were respawning. So then the game reloads the last checkpoint, and it makes me go all the way back and reacquire the ammo in the other room. And then I come back to try and blow up the vent again, and then the enemies respawn and I die again. I must have tried this mission 20 times. And it is so difficult. A lot of the games back in the day had the ability to save in real time. Like even Doom had that. I don't understand why you can't save in real time in Halo. It's all based on checkpoints. It's really annoying. And so yeah, speaking of respawning enemies, really fucking annoying. Earlier on in the game, it wasn't so much of a problem, but later on in the game, especially when you start seeing those little green, I don't know what they are, the flood, I don't know, little green enemies that are little balls that come at you. They're everywhere, and they're always respawning. And like I said, the last mission, pain in the fucking ass. That's not fun at all. Again, weird difficulty spikes towards the end. Cheap one-hit deaths. Again, send you right back to the last checkpoint. Pain in the ass. A real-time save option would have been nice. Always low on ammo. I don't know if maybe that's just because I sucked at the game. Sometimes came off like a Resident Evil clone because of that. Master Chief takes too long to reload his weapon. Like, you think it takes long to reload your shotgun in Doom 3? That's nothing compared to this game. Takes too long to replenish your health meter. I wasn't emotionally invested in the story, and I was surprised there was no ending credits. After the last cutscene, boom, right back to the menu. The last mission, what was up with that? Talked about it earlier. The vent mission was a bitch. After getting through that, the final bit with the warthog, where you have to escape the planet, man, that was a pain in the ass. Pain in the fucking ass. I almost rage quit. I was having a hard time with it. And, like I said, it's not because I wasn't good at the game. It's because the warthog just doesn't handle good. It's weird that you have to use both analog sticks to control the warthog. It's not like you're playing a racing game. It handles quite differently. It's really weird. The right thumbstick rotates the wheels, and the left thumbstick allows you to accelerate and decelerate. Really, really weird. I get what they were going for doing that, but it doesn't really work out. It sounds good on paper, but it doesn't really work out when they implemented it into the game. Tip on the last mission: when you reach the last checkpoint and Cortana tells you to stop, don't stop. Just keep going. Because if you stop, you lose about 10 seconds. And then she says, time for plan B, keep moving. And then you run out of time. No, when you get to that point, just keep trucking along. And then by the time she says, time to go for a... And by the time she says, it's time for a plan B, you're already in the tunnel. You're already trying to get towards the end of the game. So that's the tip there. Last mission, do not stop. Just keep trucking along. So those were my final thoughts on the game. I did enjoy playing it all the way through. It was extremely frustrating in some spots. I feel like this game could have used a map system. I got lost a couple of times in a few levels, believe it or not. I know one guy I talked to in the community said that the original Halo was more or less a corridor shooter. I don't really agree with that sentiment. That's what Geeks with Cash said. I found for the most part the game was semi-open world, linear open world, and I find the game really does hold up well, even in 2022. The game looked incredible, one of the best looking games on the original Xbox. It's easy to see why this game is critically acclaimed, one of the greatest games of all time, incredible showpiece. And yeah, unbelievable. Oh, that last mission, by the way, I forgot to mention. Wow, there's some serious slowdown when there's a lot of enemies on screen. Man, at one point it was like 2 frames a second. I kid you not, with all the explosions going on. Oh, and when your warthog flips over in that final mission, and you have to get back on your warthog, and it keeps getting flipped over from the gunfire. Man, that was such a pain in the ass. So, yeah, final thoughts. I really enjoyed playing it for the most part. Am I going to go back and play through it again? Probably not. I'll definitely dip into Halo 2 at some point. I'm going to give Halo a little bit of a rest right now because this game took longer than I'm willing to admit. And yeah, I'm done with Halo for now. But yeah, I'm glad to have seen this game all the way through and to be able to give an opinion on it. Not a perfect game by any means. But yeah, it is definitely one of the best games from the 6th generation, and it's easy to see why this is a staple in the Microsoft lineup. So anyways, guys, that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Take care.